any different. I have disdainment for that kind of ego-driven artisan. And I mean, it's one thing to be potent and know that you're confident in what you're doing, but to be belittle and or be in it for another reason is just not what I'm about, man.
Yeah. All right. So once again, talking to Ed Roman. So great to have him on the show. edroman.net. So you are part of a organization, Heart Songs for Veterans. I found this on your website, and I wanted to just allow you to share what's that about, just for the listeners.
Well, I was in Jersey, and I was doing some playing for a festival down there in Cape May, and met a lady, and she approached me later after the fact and said, would you like to be a part of this thing that we're doing to raise money for vets that are really struggling, that pay their bills, medical stuff, putting food on the table. And the idea was to sort of generate this kind of like, hey, these people need help. And, man, I'm a pacifist at heart, but I'm always about helping people. And if the music can be a vehicle for that, then okay, like I'm jiggy with it. And, there's a lot of wonderful people that are involved in the acoustic project, and it has multi-tentacles. I mean, there's people out playing on the road, they're doing fundraising projects for this, and all of that has really brought a lot of attention, awareness, and, looked after a lot of people as a result. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's, again, a love button. No matter what, even in the face of something that you may not understand, you gotta try to love it, man.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the veterans that come back with the mental issues or with physical issues too. It's amazing, and it gets overlooked. It truly does. So I think any way possible that people can help, I think, is amazing. I interviewed another gentleman, Richard Lynch. He has an organization that he uses as well that kind of helps, and I appreciate anybody and everybody that does that. Because they sometimes get overlooked.
Oh, I know, and you know what? Even aside from the vets that I've met in the U.S., shows that I've been on, that vets run, vets that I know in Canada that have multiple issues. They're my friends, and I'm like, well, I'm trying to help not only just other people that may benefit from it, but their experiences and what they've gone through, really affected me. So I can't help but not, open the door, if you will.
Right. Exactly. So what future shows or events or things you have going on coming up that the listeners would want to know about, or when you will be coming back to the States and everything?
Well, hey, man, you know what? I'm really excited to announce that I just became a Dean Markley string artist. And if the audience is listening, they know what Dean Markley is. They're one of the oldest string companies in the United States. Practically every instrument that I've bought since I was a kid originally came with Dean Markley strings. So I'm an endorser now. I'm working with them, and it's so great because I remember looking at stuff and going, hey, man, I wish I was a da-da-da-da artist or whatever. That's a huge deal for me. I'm in the midst of a recording project, a new project, which is called A Recipe for Perpetual Spring. And we're working on grant applications to try to get some dineros from an organization that comes from the federal government here in Canada to help me put that together and make that a reality, just so it's not, so financially cumbersome. At the same time, it brings sort of a new level of attention to what I do because it's sort of backed by the federal government. And then with that would come tour support and some money to be able to take that project out on the road, which means getting back into the United States and across Canada. So, that's the plans for basically the spring and summer, hopefully, of 2018, excuse me.
Great. Well, definitely let me know, when it comes out. If you need some help sharing some things out, love to share it on social media and get it out to all of my followers, too.
Hey, man, thank you, Ben. And it's great being on BS3 Sports. I appreciate the opportunity. It's actually great talking to you, man.
Definitely. So one other question I had. Being a sports show, I always got to ask this question. What sports teams do you follow? Or are you a sports fan? What's your I guess sports meter?
Okay, well, first of all, I love baseball, and I played baseball for almost 9 or 10 years of my life. Hockey, obviously, the same thing. I'm a Canuck, so I vacillated between in hockey and Canada. I'm either on the Leaf side sometimes or the Canadian side, and then people are like, "You can't do that," but yeah, I can. When I played ball, I was a huge Pirates fan, actually, and that was back in the '80s and stuff like that. And then I'm a Jays fan. I can't help it. I'm from Toronto, so
it's
I'm
hard
usually
not
following.
To be one.
Yeah. And my dad was a huge sports enthusiast. Not only that, both my dad and my brother. My dad went to school and roomed with Frank Mahovlich, and then my dad was drafted actually, but he said he declined as a running back for the Toronto Argonauts. And my brother, as a running back, was also pre-drafted for the Argos and the Hamilton Tiger Cats back in the 70s and early 80s. But it was like my brother had back issues, my father had back issues, and it was like, as much as we want to do this, we can't.
Right. Long term, it's not a good idea.
No.
For sure. Well, man, it was a great interview. I did not know what to expect, but I was just blown away, just being able to talk with you and to get to know you and your heart. So, once again, Ed Roman. So that's EDROMAN. Go to edroman.net. Also follow him on social media. Special Ed Roman on Twitter, Instagram, and then Ed Roman Music on Facebook. So I appreciate you so much for coming on the show.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure. It was great talking to you, and stay in touch, man, and let me know when your other shows are on.
Definitely, I will let you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, that was Ed Roman. So his management team reached out, and I'm open. I'm open to other types of music, open to other type of people, and they reached out and wanted him to come on the show, so I gladly accepted. Great interview. So we're going to play one of his songs, and check out this video. It's called I Am Love. In the video, he's playing every single instrument. I don't know, I didn't see any other musicians in there. Shout out to Juane, JB Bodie of the Wait a Minute Show. Also, we got 334 Bama Boy in the building. Grego said he's walking into Buffalo Wild Wings. Eat some wings for me. Probably get some honey barbecue. Get you some A's and Zing. Get you some wings. But yeah, we're gonna play the song called I Am Love. And in the video, he's playing basically every single instrument. I didn't see anybody else in the video. I'm sure he maybe had somebody else playing something. But check it out. I Am Love by Ed Roman. And we will be right back.
Any other human being who's cruciform control, no longer in search of meaning, I'll utilize my soul to be a messenger, to be a radical, to be loved. Be a messenger, be a radical, be loved. Falling from the matrix, why is what can set you free. And if you look behind the curtain and then into the mirror, then I you get each day make you stronger somehow in some way. Look for your own truth in your heart when it's told. You know, it may seem like a coda, but I learned it from my Baba. It's not what you believe, it's what you do. It's what you do. It's what you do. What you doing now? In a fraction of an inch, and loving all is one is supposed to be a cinch. Be a messenger, be a radical, be love, be a messenger, be a radical.
This is Key C from the
Kicking It With Key C show.
On the newly rebranded T-ENT Sports Radio Network. We will continue to bring you the hottest, most interesting guests and commentary in the areas of social issues, politics, culture, music, and more. Continue to tune in.
Give it to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show.
So join me Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time
with your host, Juane, JB Bodie, and of course, my man Lopan.
On the Two Live Stews Radio Network.
Ain't that right, Lopan?
And we are back in the BS3 Sports Show. And we got a special guest, one of the special guests for this show, Terrance Bennett of the T-ENT Podcast. What's going on?
Going on with you, Ben? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Glad I was able to get you on the show. I was on your show recently, so I was like, man, you gotta make this happen.
Absolutely, made it happen. Did that.
So, I wanted to give you opportunity to tell my listeners about your podcast, what it is you talk about, what do you do, and kind of the vibe of the podcast.
Oh man, my podcast, of course, is T-ENT Sports Podcast with me, Terrance Bennett. You know, I cover different NFL news. I cover NBA. I got a section called the Saints segment. I cover the New Orleans Saints because I live in New Orleans, based in New Orleans. I cover everything. I even get into there about sport, just regular sporting news, like personal lives and stuff like that. So I do a little bit of everything on my show. So, that's pretty much it, really.
Cool. Yeah, I've heard a few of the shows, and I'm a fan. So I'm going to continue to listen and continue to check out each and every one of the podcasts. But I wanted